Hey, Clint.
Wow. It's the man right there. Eric, how the heck are you?
Uh, at the moment, I'm not doing too great. I got this new guitar from Fender, and I, uh, I I have two chords that don't work. Have you ever done that? Like, where you are you? I don't know if you're a guitar player, but like
No.
I plug my cord into my little micro cube, and I'm like, this is because it's called an acoustic sonic. It's an acoustic electric from Fender. And I was like so excited to play it. I'm like, and then the second chord didn't work too. So I don't know. That look, there's more things to be bummed out in the world right now, but right now, in my moment, in my little bubble,
I
I'm pissed.
yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't have a cell phone currently, Eric. I couldn't even text you earlier to get this squared away. So I'm with it's like and I just bought like a new SIM card and like 5 minutes ago, put it in, like here we go. It's happening. And then no. So we both are overcoming some things here. And that's what we do. We've learned to adapt, right, in this new world. And
Well, I don't know about that, man.
I don't either. Actually, the last time we talked, the Chiefs and Niners had just met in Super Bowl 54, and we're a few days away from that rematch possibly occurring in LA. So
Oh
is that
man,
what we're going to have happen?
I hope that happens. I watched both games. Actually, I just I recorded some games. Like I have other irons in the fire, right? But on the 49er game, I was like riveted. And I was telling some friend the other day about, it wasn't pretty, but hey, he was talking about uh, the Bills game or something like that. Or I don't remember what game. No, Bengals game. And I go, well, it wasn't pretty, but we got the job done. But then I watched it again yesterday, like because when you're in the heat of the moment, you're like, come on, I'm
It's
freaking out.
different. Yeah.
I watched it again, like did a little, methodically, got everything down, and they were great. The Niners defense were phenomenal. I thought, and
Yeah.
Jimmy G, he's great. He's like an Italian Joe Montana. I don't know, but
Wow. I like that.
yeah,
You've had
but
some good ones. And so I'm going to be in LA for the Super Bowl regardless. We got credentialed this year for the first time. I
get
do
out,
I do sports stuff and I do a lot of stuff, Eric. But
get
my
out of
question is,
town, dude.
you live in California. You're obviously way north of LA. Okay, I'm a Midwesterner. Let's remember this. Am I going to be able to survive in Los Angeles, California in 2022? Is that a place that I can even exist in?
Well, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area
Right.
for a reason.
Right. See, I knew it.
No, you're going to survive. I mean, hey, look, you're from the Midwest, and you seem like a worldly person. You're going to be okay.
That's
You can
right. I
survivalist.
try.
But you'll look around and kind of, look at the buildings, a big. Anyway,
Well, I've been to LA before. This is just a new experience, especially when it comes to because I'll tell you this, I know more about what booster shots I need than what interviews are going to be available on Radio Row, where the setup's going to be.
absolutely.
I know all about Pfizer and Johnson combination shots. Don't know much about like Joe Montana interviews or whoever's going to stop by. So we'll see.
Oh, wow, dude. You know, for some reason, bumpkin just rolls off the tongue right now.
I try to avoid. I live in Kansas City. We're a little more cultured here, and you're going to be actually in St. Louis this weekend. So
Yeah,
you're heading to the Midwest yourself, my man.
I am. I'm actually looking forward to it. I was just telling PJ and Steve Brown, the guys from Trickster. I mean,
Yes.
some of you guys remember that old American rock band from the '90s. But anyway, I was just telling them, hey, PJ is kind of like the liaison manager. He'll send everybody the itinerary and my plane ticket and everything. And he goes, yeah, we got another one. I'm like almost like throwing it away. Yeah, we got another gig. And I'm like, I'm actually looking forward to getting out of the house. I know that seems cliche right now to some people, but I'm getting tired of talking to myself in the mirror, truthfully.
If anyone could do it, you can. But this is you got 2 days. You got Memphis, I think Friday night, St.
Yeah.
Peter's, which is just a suburb of St. Louis here on Saturday. This is tremendous. and you've kind of dipped your toe in the water a little bit. You know, you've played some shows, you've been out there and you did, man, the Spyglass Winery show was legendary. That was sort of where it all began again for you. What's it been like? I mean, I guess the larger question is, what have the last 2 years been like for you, Eric? I mean, it's a loaded question.
No. I mean, like I was just talking to somebody on Facebook about this, you know, what did I do during the lockdown? God, nothing. It was like a blur.
Yeah.
I went right into bunker mode where I watched an abundance of television shows. You know, like I'm like, Ozark it's done. What do I do now? Right.
And you're probably done with the new season already again. So.
Yeah. I'm holding out. No offense, you know, I'm not trying to put an omen into the situation or whatever, but you know, I'm holding out. Maybe there might be another lockdown. I hope not. But what did I do? I played music. I didn't write a lot. I drank too much. I got to tell you, man. You know, to be perfectly honest, it was like a time killer. And I would drink and watch these shows, and you know, and then the next day would come, and then I'd be Taxi Dad, not drinking and Taxi Dad, but like
separate incidents. Yeah.
Next day, 2-3 days later. But then I'd, you know, be Taxi Dad with my kids, but like they couldn't go anywhere anyway, as well.
Sure.
You know, so yeah, I didn't do anything except clean my house about 20 times. You know, I know I'm looking for, you know, I got this new album coming out. Oh man, I wish, but for some reason it just, like for everybody, this is the part where I get all depressed. I just was completely stifled. And oh yeah, you know what I did? I never used to be into politics. I mean, I knew what was going on with my local assemblymen and, you know, and a little bit here and there. And I got kind of tired of, you know, our last president just talking too much. You know, I just wanted something to happen. No offense to anybody out there, Republicans or Democrats. It was just like anger, and I had to shut it off. And so, and tip it back, right? But I got sucked back into the politics, and I went into politic world for a couple of years. It was ugly. I hate it. Now I stopped drinking and I stopped watching politics.
Isn't that goes hand in hand? I think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The less the substances, the less politics. Maybe. I think you're right. But you're searching for something. We all were.
I'm searching for, you know, I'm over the anger. I'm just over the anger. I mean, like, you know, like now we got some other stuff going on. I mean, are we going to have a war? Jeez Christ. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I know we're trying to make it light and rock and roll and entertainment and all that. But you know, there's a lot of shit going on in the world.
No, we don't. There's no censorship here, Eric. You should know that. No, you're right. But to see, I mean, slowly, I mean, you know, 2020, I went to no concerts. 2021, a lot more. You were able to get out and play. You're going to be at the Diamond Head Music Hall here in St. Louis. We're excited about that. And with the guys in with Steve and PJ, who are good friends of ours, and Joey too, by the way, believe it or not.
Hey, look, I was saving Joey Casada for the last, for the end, you know, oh dude, one of the nicest guys in the world, great drummer, you know, a guy his age with that perfect hair, man. Hey,
you do too, by the way. You're God dang it, Eric.
What? I can't collect it.
You've looked 25 years old since Mr. Big's first album came out. You know that.
I appreciate that, Clint.
I'm serious.
I have the elephant man bones underneath these clothes. I'm just letting you know.
Well, so for those that don't, you know, aren't maybe aware, because you see on a lot of the posters, you know, it says, you know, with Trickster. Trickster is not opening for you. Trickster is playing with you in a way, Steve and PJ, and you do some Trickster songs in the set that sum it up pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I sing background vocals and play guitar on those songs. Steve Brown actually sings the Pete Lauren part. I love Pete, you know, and I was an advocate of getting Trickster back together for decades, whatever, and that it just wasn't going to happen. And those guys weren't doing anything, and I wasn't doing anything. Mr. Big is on a permanent hiatus, I guess, and I just thought, hey man, if the doors and the possibilities open, let's play some shows together, right? But I didn't want to look. Two parts of this question. I didn't want to step on Pete Lauren's toes and sing Trickster songs. And second, I can't sing Trickster songs. They're too damn high. Oh, they're squealing. They're like freaking. It's every song's like in high D. It's crazy. And Steve Brown can do it. He's still probably high and tight. Not me. I'm low to the ground.
I don't think there's a style you can't sing. You knew that. You're one of my favorite singers of all time. We've talked about this before. I'm not.
Arigato gozaimasu.
That. And whenever I kind of lump vocalists into certain categories, I always put you in. My girlfriend and I always say Eric Martin and Bryan Adams kind of exist in a category. Is that
Centurion? I love that.
Has that ever been brought up before? There's something about it. There's something very American about it. There's something very roots rock about it.
And there's something very gravelly about it. I mean, I have heard a little comparison here and there, and I love it. I mean, Bryan Adams was a hero of mine. Still is a hero.
I love him.
Me too, man. But very. So you're saying like something American. He was Canadian, so
you're right.
More American for me.
Yeah, it's true.
So hey, if we want to start that rumor or we want to start that snowball going, the American Bryan Adams, I welcome it with open arms. Go for it.
I do. I think Summer of '69, which is one of the first, I'm only 37 here. So Summer of '69 is one of the first songs I ever remember hearing in my life, like as a kid. And so that to me, like that represented like an true American summer and like everything that I wanted in life that I didn't know I wanted. Right. So,
I got a little story for you for Bryan Adams. You want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
So Mr. Big toured with Bryan Adams back in, the middle 90s, I guess. And this is when he was doing this. I don't know if you've ever seen some concerts of him. Where he'd play a show and then he had a boxing ring, which he called, it's like people call it a B stage, artists. And it would be in the audience, Rolling Stones do it and all that. But Bryan Adams was one of the first. He had a boxing ring and he'd play a stripped down, not acoustic, but a stripped down sort of club band vibe for the audience. And he'd play like She's Only Happy When She's Dancing and kind of the more punkish, grindy kind of songs. So he was doing a sound check one day, and this is way before cell phones. And God, I wish the Japanese had invented it earlier, because he gets into sound check and he sees me in the stands. I'm the only one, doing a sound check. And he belts out To Be With You.
Oh, wow.
And you can't see it, but they're still there. Chills, man. I couldn't believe it. And his voice was perfect, even better than mine at that moment, Oh God, it was so great. And I didn't, and then I got this other story. When I first met him, I knew some of the crew that worked for Bryan Adams and everything. But when I met him, crew guy took me back, and a door opens up, which I thought it was going to be a dressing room, but it was like a little. I think he planned this or whatever. But I open it up, and he's sitting at a desk, and I come in. I'm like, hey, I didn't want to say Mr. Adams, but I go, hey, Bryan, what's happening? Thanks a lot for letting us be on this tour. And he goes, hey, yeah, I like your little song. Something to that effect. I like your little song, and I was just back. And I go, well, thank you very much. And I turned to the crew guy right next to me, and I go, I like your little singer. Anyway, that was, yeah.
Yeah, the little song that went to number one, and little song.
Yeah, but it's Bryan Adams.
Well, true.
It's Bryan Adams. I'm happy to be in the same sentence with him. I appreciate that.
Well, you just have this way about you. And I think that people always say that you have a sensibility, and that to some degree, Mr. Big to me was always such a power of so many amazing musicians. Do you feel like now when you go out with with the guys now and play shows that you have more fun? Because to me, with Mr. Big, like there's almost this pressure there. You got maybe the best bass player that ever lived, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, Pat Torpey, tremendous drummer. You guys, it's almost like there was such power to that element that do you find that it's more laid back, that you have more fun, the pressure's off as a solo artist, or is that not?
Well, when you know what, there was no pressure at all that first album, but that what my children used to call the train album, Lean Into It. There was a lot of pressure there because it was on the radio, and okay, look, I like to take a little, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like I like to improv a little bit, when I'm singing songs. I'll add something that I didn't sing on the record. And I think in my head, I'm like, oh, they're going to love this. But when you have a hit, and it's on the radio constantly, you have to be that guy on the radio every show. No improv. Yeah. Our manager, Herbie Herbert, I used to come off stage and I go, hey, how was that? Was that great? And he goes, sit down. We got some talking to do. He goes, stop your little, bullshit place and all that. And he goes, the kids want to hear what they heard on the radio. They want to hear that guy. So there was some pressure, especially to be with you, to be perfect every night. And it was hard because after a while, I mean, I love singing that. I love singing them all. Green Tinted 60s Mind was kind of a killer too. A bitch, sometimes, but I do my best, man. And that's what you got to do. You have to be on point. The thing with the Trickster thing and the solo thing, or even when I play acoustic shows out in the world, yeah, I get to do what I want, but I can't do what I want when I'm playing Mr. Big songs because those
still there.
Yeah, those folks, they want to hear it perfectly. And it's difficult, over the years, but there's a little bit more not lax in vocal wise. I try to give it 100%.
Of course. Oh yeah.
Show and, I throw a lot of comedy in where I never used to do the comedy thing with Mr. Big. It would be like, they wouldn't say shut up or sing, but they would go, really? You want to tell a story now? Look, we're trying to rock here. Right. And, but now with the Trickster guys, I get to be myself. I get to tell some stories. I even got Steve Brown sometimes noodling in the background of me when I'm talking to the audience about telling stories about a song. He's like, and it's like, it's kind of funny, but yeah, I like hey, look, I love having a song on the radio. I love having songs on the radio. The fact that they keep playing To Be With You, Just Take My Heart, Wild World, even I hear Addicted to That Rush on Sirius Radio all the time. And look, man, I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world, man, for that stuff. And so whatever the kids want, or they're older kids now, but whatever they want, I'm down.
Yeah,
I got to throw my my comedy in there somewhere.
I do plan on being the youngest soul at the show here Saturday night in St. Louis, but you never know. There's just, my girlfriend's a little older than me. She's cool with it. She is such a fan. She loves Mr. Big so much. She is such a fan of yours, and she also loves her new favorite band is Fozzy. So PJ Farley is in Fozzy now.
Awesome. We love Fozzy.
I know because I like Chris Jericho's awesome. So maybe you do 6 degrees of Eric Martin and you throw some Fozzy, and I don't know. I mean, the set list could be whatever you want, right? You pick it.
Oh, let's hear Judas one more time. No, I like that song, Sane.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, I could do that.
Those guys are great, man.
I can't do it all. I mean, look, Chris is a good friend, and he's always, he's complimenting me all the time. But like the Judas record was great. I love it, and right. I can't wait. I've heard some of the new stuff. Obviously, we all have heard like a good 3 or 4 songs because he was doing it live and all that. But I have heard a good portion of the record, and it's great. And more power to him. And I could do some of those songs.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, I I was jealous a little bit when PJ would call me from England, and he said, I'm in England with Chris and the guys, and I'm like, oh man, I'll come over and sing background vocals if you want,
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I love Chris Jericho. Amazing guy. Love him. But vocally, I think that it might be the other way around. I'm just saying. And I don't know if have you ever done Talk is Jericho? Have you ever been on his show?
No. Well, yeah, once I did it.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and Billy Sheehan did
during the 17 tour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Big and Fozzy. And it was like, right after the show, and I think it was one of our last shows. I want to say it was in Germany. And we had glasses of wine going, the Mr. Big, me and Billy, and Chris too. And then Chris goes, hey, let's do a podcast.
That's how
99 bottles of wine on the wall. Anyway. And that was fun. I don't know if you're second guessing, you're saying, oh, Eric Martin, you got Chris Jericho. He's got a great voice. He's got
he does.
His music is killer. I'm jealous of it, man. It's that kind of hard, and it kind of, I don't know how to say it, but it's kind of like that danceable thing, or, kind of moving and grooving, not kind of going, you're kind of jumping up and down kind of song,
Oh man. And it all started with Fozzy Osbourne and a cover band, and look what it morphed to. But I got to ask you about this, because from about 10 years ago, I was a huge Avantasia fan. I found Tobias via the band Ed Guy, and then got into the Avantasia stuff. What you've done with Tobias, and there's more coming up here. That's what I want to get into. The song that you did, Maniac, the cover of Maniac from the Flashdance soundtrack, right? You're shaking your head. It's incredible. One of my favorite covers that I've heard in like recent memory. It's amazing.
I appreciate that. And
you're not a fan.
You're funny that you're bringing it up, because Toby kept, Toby, that would be his nickname there. He would say, man, I don't know did Flashdance not play in Germany or something like that? Because when he told me Maniac, I was going, oh God, I hope we don't come to America. They're going to laugh. Right. But he loved it. He loved it. And, look, I played all these like metal fests in Europe. I mean, the metalist of metal, Wacken, 90,000 people headlining. And I'm looking at the set list. I'm like, oh God, no, please no. And it's, I could sing Twisted Mind. And I think I sang another song called Savior and the Clockwork. It's all metal and soulful metal, for me. And then it's like Maniac. I'm like, oh dear God. I'm looking at Jeff Tate, and he goes, what's Maniac? And I'm going, Flashdance. And he goes, oh, okay, well, have fun with that. And I did. And you get 90,000 people, and they're kind of like going, what's this? But I swear to God, it's done kind of heavy.
It's very heavy.
It has that kind of like, poppy melody thing, but you get 90,000 people cheering for you for Maniac. You're going, hey man, so this could be master puppets. This could be a master. This could be, some kind of a Megadeth tune, right? I don't know, but yeah, Maniac. It was fun. It was fun.
It's a good song, and you got more. You're doing some more Avantasia stuff, right? Coming up.
I did, yeah. I just sang. Well, not just. I did it a couple months ago. I sang a song on the record. I just got one. There's so many of us. There are like 6-7 people, singers. But I got one. But it's an epic, and it's 5 minutes long, man. It's huge, and I'm happy about that one. Yeah.
And you're heading to Europe this summer, right? For maybe the entire summer. You and Jeff Tate, you're heading to Europe. What a way to spend a summer.
Me and Jeff are actually doing this thing called, it's his baby. It's called Backstage Pass Travel. And I've done it before. It's, you got like fans. We ride around these luxury vans. we're going to play the Everett Theater in Seattle, Washington. We did it before, sold out. We're going to do it again, play the gig, and then drive for like 10 hours to Montana. And, he's got family there. We play, we go to all the distilleries and, hiking stuff. I can't remember the other name of it, but it was like a little bighorn kind of vibe. And then wine tasting and French restaurants and blah, blah, blah. And in the interim is like playing at brew pubs. I mean, him and I play acoustic. I'm singing. He plays acoustic with his Hot Potato Boys. Those two guys play with him. And he's singing like, it's not just silent lucidity. He's singing Empire stuff. Empire acoustic. It's awesome. But then we travel around with these fans that they're like, it's like a camping trip with adults, rockers, and oh man, I had such a blast last time. So we're going to do it again. At the end of at the end of May, and then him and I are going to fly to Germany to do rehearsal for Avantasia, and then June, July, August is pretty much, the Avantasia thing in Europe, but in between shows of Avantasia, because it's only like, a couple festivals, and then a week later, or maybe a week and a half later, we play another bunch of festivals, and Jeff goes off to Ireland, wings off to Ireland or some winery in France that he owns, who knows, right? And I'm stuck in some frickin' airport motel in Hamburg. So this year, I'm playing a bunch of acoustic shows in and out in through Europe with my with a guy named David Cottrell, who plays in a band called Demon in England, and then Oliver Hartman, who also plays with Avantasia.
Yes.
So him and we're going to trade off and do that thing in between Avantasia. Then I go to England with just Dave, and it's full on. It's a nice big tour.
What a summer!
Yes. Woo!
That's like you're like the typical summer backpacking through Europe situation is now happening to you.
Yeah.
It's like a college graduate's worst, biggest dream.
Sorry to cut you off. It's like a backpack dream, but it's anything to get out of the house for me. But I'm holding up my two fingers of crossing for luck here because, you never know. The big C just might make its way in and screw the pooch for everybody. But so far, so good.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We'll see. But I'm going to South America in March. Actually, got 10 shows, all over, Brazil and Argentina, Ecuador, Chile, Quito. It's going to be all kinds of places.
Dang it, Mr. Big was very big in El Salvador. You missed that one. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
I was just no. What was the thing? What would they always say? Mr. Big and Firehouse. They're big in Japan, right? That's the joke. You're big in Japan, but
is that the joke? It wasn't a joke to me.
No, it's not like a joke as in.
No, I know.
True. Is it? It's absolutely true.
No. Yeah,
you guys have a live DVD from the Budokan with 10,000 people there.
Yep. No, it was multiple shows of Budokan over the years, and all over Japan.
Yeah.
I was going to Japan from 1989 till COVID came, like twice a year. Yeah, I know. Paul Gilbert, I remember at one time he had an apartment there. He was living there. And I could have had an apartment. I was there so much.
I think Marty Friedman lives there from Megan.
Yeah. Marty one time interviewed me for a magazine. He was there. I was like, hey, what are you doing here? He goes, all of a sudden, fluent Japanese, fluent. Just talk, and then like he was the translator and the interviewer. It was great, but yeah.
Wow. Well, so 2022 this looks like the redemption year for so many people. For you, a lot of shows. You talk about South America in March, the European situation.
Oh yeah, it's July, August. Yeah, and there's hopefully I want to work with Jeff again. I love working with Jeff. Jeff's
I love Jeff. God.
Good people.
Yes.
Good man, good heart, powerful voice. And I stopped drinking for about today's my anniversary of 4 months. I stopped drinking, but hanging out with Jeff and the Avantasia guys, Clint,
That's cool.
you can't believe this. You can't believe this. Like, it's almost 17 people on stage at once. And then it's a revolving door because it's a core power metal band. Hope they don't mind me saying power metal, but power kind of metal band. And then you got 6, 7 singers, and we're revolving door going back and forth. And we have this gigantic table with all our microphones on it. And it's dark, so you can't really see the microphones. And they got these they got these little ducks, those little yellow, you see them at truck stops all the time, little duckies.
Rubber ducky, yeah.
Rubber duckies, right? And each one has like an identity. Mine has glasses, right, on it. Jorn Landy, great singer.
Oh, yeah.
Viking horns, and everybody's got something just so you can see it in the dark. But anyway, and then, so you get the microphones, and then you get these shiny ass ducks on the table, and about 15 bottles of wine, red wine, and some of it's Jeff's because he owns his own wine, on this table. So I picked a fine time to stop drinking.
Best of luck with that. It's going to be fun. I can't recommend it enough. Those of our, we're in Kansas City, but we have, a lot of listeners on the St. Louis side, and I hope you guys will all plan on joining us here Saturday night. Eric's going to show us the defunct guitar.
Hopefully I get to play it this weekend.
This is the one that's got some issue. Ooh, that's,
yeah. It's really light.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So show, what's the issue?
It's a little, can't really tell on the podcast thing.
Right.
It sounds bright, but God, you know what I'm going to do right after I get talking to you, done with that? I'm going to go to a local music store, which is called Bananas at Large. And I'm going to get about 5 chords, and I'm just going to place them all over the house, stick one on the gig bag. But yeah, I may play this weekend.
That is, I hope so.
Kind of cool.
It is beautiful. I love the finish on that. I mean, it's
a full on. So you can't see it here. Let's see if you can see it really quickly. My telly over in the corner. Can you see that telly?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So what a mess over there. But so it is. Yeah, it's a telly. But you gotta plug it in and bash out the A chords, man.
Man, I can't wait, Eric. It's always just an honor. Thank you so much for
welcome
jumping on with us. Let's not wait 2 years this time. If I don't see you, man, in Europe, I don't know, man. You may never return. This may be the absolute end, and that you may have a new location.
I love Europe. I mean, I love England. Germany is one of my favorite places on the earth now. It used to be Italy, but you know what? It's Italy in the heart because I'm a little Italian.
I can sit still a little.
Hey, look, I got to tell you one thing.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm loving your backdrop.
Okay, so
I love it.
Who else liked this?
It makes me long for rock.
It's so
days, baby.
Bruce Kulick, former Kiss guitarist, he's the first one that really he's into graphic design. He does his own video editing and stuff. He just played a solo show in Vegas, went out there for that, and he was like, "How do I do that?" And I was like, "It's just a green screen. That's all it is." So I got a green screen, and it's just brilliant. I appreciate that, man. Eric, thanks so much, my friend. It's been so much fun as always. Take care, stay in touch, and we'll see you here in a couple days, my friend. All right. Are you going to be there? I'm going to be there. Oh, dude, I'm going to have to put on a nice shirt. Yeah, you are. And yeah, the expectations are high. The pressure's on. It is. All right. You got a journalist in the crowd, so look out. I know, dude. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. All right, buddy. Thanks so much, man. Oh, absolutely. I love it. Later, man. Cheers.